So, in just a minute, you are going to hear from the great Steve Bannon, and he is going to bring down the House. But while I have your attention, you see, I just intercepted. It wasn't scheduled. I want to encourage you to come tonight to our worship night, Strong Church. We have an amazing worship band. We have Eric Metaxas. We have Allie B. Stuckey. And for those of you that might say, I don't like church or I don't like religion, I'm challenging you. I'm asking you to make time tonight because it might just be a night that would change your life. So after all the programming tonight, we have a night of worship and programming for you. I can't wait to see you guys there. And enjoy whatever comes next. Enjoy.
He is one of the most influential person around today.
He's been called a street fighter.
He's been a longtime ally of former President Donald Trump.
The man who helped orchestrate Donald Trump's once unthinkable election victory.
Steve Bannon, that name is probably familiar to you.
Their biggest fear right now is that you come to conferences like this. This is what they fear. And everybody in this audience, left and right, should come together. Populist nationalists should come together and say, take a stand and say, no more. No longer are we just going to sit there and take it. You are an awakened army. We're tougher. We're smarter. They're going to try to bait you into everything. You have to be smarter than that. From this day forward, there's no more talk. It's just action, action, action. We're at war. Are you ready to fight? Are they going to give you your country back? Are they going to pat you on the head and say, yeah, you can take it from the deep state. You can take it from the administrative state. Are they going to give it to you? Are you going to have to take it? I can't hear you. Give me some fire. The army of the awakened, the army of the awakened. You are the vanguard of that. Do you understand your responsibility? You understand your duty? You understand everything that's on your shoulders? Do you? We have an army of the awakened in this nation now, and you're the vanguard of that. You are the force recon. You are the rangers. You're the pathfinders. You're the leaders of the most important political movement in this nation since 1773. What was 250 years ago yesterday was what? The Boston Tea Party. You are in direct lineage of that. That revolutionary generation is you today. If they came back here, Sam Adams, Hancock, John Adams, Franklin, Jefferson, Hamilton, the guys that fought with General Washington, they would admire you. You know why? You're a vanguard on a populist nationalist movement we have not seen in this nation since 1773. And you know why I know they're coming for you? Because just look, they're coming for Trump, but they're coming for you too. Because you have Trump's back. You need a vanguard, you need a cadre. No revolutionary movement in history has ever been without it. That's what you are. You're fighters. You may not be the smartest people in the world. You may not be the richest people in the world. But you're a damn sure the toughest people in the world, right? They're scared to death of you. Look at what just happened here recently. By the way, and Charlie announces the thing that's going to blow their heads up. What does he announce? A Sunday night prayer service, right? Because you know the number one problem we have in this country is Christian nationalism, right? What is Tim Alberta? He's sitting on there on MSNBC. You know what he says? The single biggest problem we have in the country and the church is that there's certain Christians that love their country too much, right? There's certain Christians out there that are uber patriotic, and that's a problem, right? They are afraid of Christians that are populist nationalists. You are the greatest threat to the system there's ever been. This is why they fear Trump. Let me tell you something, and let me give it to you straight. If you're under 35 years old, you are screwed. Let me be blunt. You're screwed. You know why? And they say it out loud. It's just not the lawfare and coming after you. If you get out of line, they're going to other you or make sure you get bounced from your company, or all the propaganda and the climate change and the anxiety and all the drugs they gave you when you were kids, right? Everything to break people, not to support them and have them fulfill their destiny. Here's how I know they're going to come after you. Even worse. Look at what the Federal Reserve and the Treasury said the other day, right? They're going to have 4 rate cuts. They're going to flood the zone with fiat currency. We have $34 trillion in debt as of tomorrow, not 33. We've added $1 trillion in 90 days. Trailing 12 months is $2.5 trillion in deficits. Our deficit is $200 billion a month. You would never do this kind of Keynesian stimulus, except they're doing it to defeat Trump. That's the convergence of forces. And they are sacrificing every person in this room and the nation under 35 years old. You're nothing but a Russian serf. And that's exactly how they want it. This is why is Trump now leading with what, people 25 to 35, and their heads are blowing up? Why are African-American men and Hispanic men now coming to our cause? Why are more and more young people? Because of you. You've been the force multiplier. You haven't backed down. You sent the message out there day in and day out, and people are listening to it. And that's why they must destroy you. Do you understand how when they flood the zone by the time Election Day comes, we're going to be, I don't know, $36 or $37 trillion in debt. The credit card situation is going to be $1.5 trillion with 20% non-performing. You live your life right now on a hamster wheel, right? They give you a little bit of credit. You got a job, right? At the end of the year, your bonus goes to pay down the credit card just to get a little bit of gap. And you gap your wages now. You go paycheck to paycheck with the credit card. It can't go on. And you guys are buried. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit there and take it? Or are you going to sit there? This is the first elite generation in our country's history that has taken a younger generation and trashed them. They are prepared to destroy your generation to defeat Trump. To defeat Trump. They will do anything to defeat Trump. You have the convergence of forces right now. You got the lawfare, right? You see, look at Rudy yesterday, $148 million for whatever this was, right? $148 million. You got Trump, 700 years in prison, 700 years in federal prison for what? They're trying to take him off the ballot in what, 9 states with the 14th Amendment? The Justice Department and the FBI has become the modern American Gestapo. We see that on January 6th. The DOJ is not any better. That's the legal and lawfare forces. Then in the middle, you've got the biopharmaceutical industry with the phony vaccine, right? The vax. Right now, hey, who knows out there? Another COVID, another flu, who knows? But here's what I do know. That they're polling at Rasmussen shows 20% of the people that voted on mail-in ballots admitted they committed crimes. They have to get the mail-in ballots. They have no shot to win. That's the Fauci. That's the middle group. And the last is the financial. And the financial, they are going to flood the zone with fiat currency. They're going to do anything to destroy the U.S. dollar for one reason. They have to stop Trump. And in stopping Trump, they've got to stop you. You put the fear of God in them. When they got the media here, the world's media, and they see you have, 14,000 dedicated people, tough as boot leather, not prepared to back down, but are really the vanguard of this movement, leadership in this movement, taking this country to where it is a populist nationalist political party to take over the Republican Party. You guys, Turning Point action right now is essentially the effective Republican National Committee in this country. You raise more money, you have more volunteers, you do more work than the RNC. And I know there's some RNC delegates here. We want to talk to you at the War Room to make sure Ronna McDaniel has got to go. I can't hear you. Does she have to go? And I got her replacement. Since Charlie Kirk has so much to do here at Turning Point, how about Don Jr.? How about Don Jr. to head the RNC, starting immediately? He's smart, he's tough, he works like crazy. I think he knows his dad pretty well. Is that the way to rejuvenate it? Can we win? And by the way, this is why the media treats it with kid gloves. If the RNC was strong, to be on them every day. They're weak. Here's how weak they are, and they're devious. They're devious. $700 million in this phony primary with the debates and the sanctimonious and, neocon Nikki, all of it. All to do one thing. All to do one thing. To stop Donald Trump. And the Murdoch News, TV for stupid people. Have we talked about Murdoch News? They remember, for a year and a half you had DeSantis, then you had Youngkin, now you got Nikki, and they put out a poll today. The Wall Street Journal had a poll the other day. She's beating Biden. Poll today in CBS. She's closing out. She's got momentum. They're going to be all over that. You know what they're trying to do? I'm going to give you some inside base. You know what they're trying to do? $700 million. It'll be $1 billion. Not one penny of that spent on voter integrity or securing the election. All for raising their profile. And Ronna and these fat cats run around these debates. Were the debates the biggest waste of time you've ever seen? You know what the purpose is? Nikki Haley not going to beat Trump. But she is going to consolidate that never Trump vote. And you wait, mark my words. They're going to make a big move while Nikki's got to be the vice president. Yeah, she got to be the vice president. You don't love Nikki? Neocon Nikki? Neoliberal neocon Nikki? You don't love her? She's ambitious as Lucifer. You're going to see, they're going to come on, jam it up. You watch. Mark my words. We're going to have to stop that. That viper over there, that'd be worse than Judas Pence in the West Wing, wouldn't it? You're not fans of Nikki? You're not fans of Nikki as VP? This is... Oh, my Lord. This is not PG rated. Lord have mercy. Hey, Republican National Committee, this is the kind of fight you need right here, okay? These are fighters. No time for happy talk. No time for games. President Trump always says no games. No time for games. We don't have time for it. The country's in the balance. You think they had time for it on 16 December of 1773? 16 months almost to the day. Lexington and Concord. The war started, and they knew the war was coming, just like we know the war's coming, right? Are you ready for that? Are you going to let them take your country? Are you sure about that? Are you going to do everything in your power, and I mean everything in your earthly power, to stop that? Do you understand listen, this is so much bigger than the Boston Tea Party or Lexington and Concord. Do you understand with this group right here, if your task and purpose, and I mean to the core of your being, if your task and purpose is to save your country, that country will be saved? If Donald Trump has 10 or 12,000 Pathfinders, 10 or 12,000 Rangers, 10 or 12,000 Force Recon, which you are, we can't be beaten. Are they dictators? Have they betrayed the Constitution? Are they traitors to this nation? I can't hear you. Are they traitors? Here's how worried they are about you. Here's how worried they are about you. You got this guy, you heard of Robert Kagan? You guys know Kagan. He's a big intellectual, big neocon intellectual. Father was a professor, a classicist professor at Harvard, at Yale. He wrote a piece. He's married, by the way, to Victoria Nuland. Remember her? As Darren, thank you. You're so good. Thank you, War Room. As Darren Beatty says, she's the color revolution dominatrix, right? Kagan writes a piece in the Jeff Bezos Amazon Washington Post a week ago, 5,000 words. It's got a picture of Caesar, statue of Caesar, and Trump's coming up to it. It basically makes the intellectual and moral case for the assassination of Donald Trump. It lays out a case that Trump's Caesar, and Trump brings with him Caesarism. And Trump's got a bunch of followers like Caesar had. And then Brutus and other rational, reasonable men have got to sit there and take action. It is an outright justification, intellectually and morally, for the assassination of Donald J. Trump. Are you going to stand for that? Okay, you back there in the media, here's what we want. We want immediately the Secret Service to have a full investigation of Robert Kagan. I want to see every email, everybody talked to. I want to see when Bezos approved it in the editors of the Washington Post. Washington Post, you are a dangerous scum. Let me change that. You are dangerous vermin. You have laid out a case, and hey, understand this. If anything happens to Trump or there's any move on Trump, you people will pay. It is outrageous. It is outrageous what they've done with Trump. And by the way, people are talking about this in circles, in Democratic Party circles, in Republican donor circles. That article is well read and well passed around. That's how much they fear you. They come after Trump because Trump put you in the room. Not in the room, not in the deal. And Trump puts you at the head of the table. God, they hate that. Do you understand how much they hate you? How much they despise you? How much they think you're just trash? Right? They take your tax. Yeah, they're demons. They're demons. They hate you for your beliefs. They hate you for. This is not a disagreement. They don't disagree with you. They hate you. They hate your values. They hate what you stand for. They hate what you hold dear. They love the fact they take your tax dollars and your pension funds, right? And they use them to ship jobs to China or to pay for the Ukraine war or pay for the money laundering over Ukraine and the child trafficking in Ukraine and the bioweapons labs in Ukraine. Isn't that right, Victoria Nuland? Amen. We have a lot of work cut out for us. But let me tell you about Trump. They compare Trump to Caesar, right? Trump is a guy that was in the Republic, but now he's aggrandized himself. And he's got these cult followers that are prepared to do anything to bring him to power and keep him in power. And therefore, he must be eliminated, because to eliminate the cult, you got to go after the cult leader, right? But they're not going to do that. We're calling their bluff. You try it. We dare you to try it. We dare you to try it. President Trump's too much of a gentleman to call you out, but hey, I ain't no gentleman, right? We're going to start with Kagan. Kagan, you're disgusting. You need to be investigated right away. That shows you how weak the Justice Department is. Anybody, if you wrote an essay like that and printed it up on Biden, they would come down and kick down your door in a New York second and drag you out in chains. Which I've had the pleasure of having a couple of 3 times. It happens, right? I did say this was a revolution. There's another Roman figure, Cincinnatus. They used to call General Washington Cincinnatus. But Trump's the new American Cincinnatus. He came back from General Cincinnatus in the early days of the Republic from the deep fog of time, came back after he retired. He came back and he saved Rome and then walked away. Think about it for a second. If Donald Trump had gone to Mar-a-Lago on the afternoon of 20 January 2021 and just went back to building golf courses, building hotels, going from $7 billion to $15 billion, writing a memoir, hanging out with his family, enjoying everything that he had earned by being the greatest president of the 20th and 21st century, right? With 4 years of peace and prosperity, and then to get 74 million votes and have it stolen by the deep state and the globalists. But he didn't. You know why he didn't? Because of you. He knew you were there. He knew you had his back. And he knew you were down for a fight for control of this country. The greatest and most powerful nation in the history of the earth. So he came back, and think about it. None of this would have happened to him. The 700 years in prison, taking his entire business, right? In Colorado, it was all the state, taking him off the ballot. Everything he goes through every day, mocked and ridiculed by the mainstream media, the propaganda department of the deep state. None of it would have happened. None of it. That shows his courage and his deep love of country. No person in the history of this nation, with all the patriots we have ever done what Trump has done by come back to save his country. And the American people are on his side. Look at the numbers. Those sons of bitches try to destroy him every day, and he's still winning. He's still winning. He's still winning. 700 years in prison. Think about it. It's never happened on any country on earth. For only the 3rd time in our country's history, 3rd time, the destiny and fate of one man is inextricably linked to the fate of the Republic. General Washington, during the Revolution and then afterwards as president, how he comported himself, how he brought the nation together after 8 years of hard fighting, of which, by the way, remember, 1/3 of the people were against it, 1/3 were in the middle, so 2/3 were kind of jiggy. He brought that country together. Abraham Lincoln, who, by the way, was a populist nationalist, right? The Homestead Act, the Transcontinental Railroad, the land-grant university. He had a vision of manifest destiny of a continental superpower that the average schmo could get a break. And he had to break slavery and human bondage to do it and put us through a civil war. The third, Donald J. Trump. His fate and his destiny is the fate and destiny of this republic. We either win and save this republic with him as our leader and the 47th president of the United States, or you tell me what's after that. You've seen it, right? Look, the 16 victory was providential. I was there. I saw it. We had a candidate, a plane, no money, no organization, and a great message. And we won, right? And they were stunned. We won in 2020 and they stole it. We won in 2020 and they stole it. But even that stealing was providential, because we see exactly who they are and what they are. the great unmasking of who's on our side of the football, who's on the side of the republic, and who are globalists, who are followers of the party of Davos, who are not populist nationalists, has all been unmasked. And you've seen what they've done, from the schools to the children to the drugs, all of it. The southern border, 9 million illegal alien invaders in this country. Who our first priority is not simply sealing the border, but to send them home. And I don't mean just criminals and people from the mental institutions. I mean every single 9 million of them gotta go. Gotta go. Have to go. The African American and Hispanic community will never recover. You let these 9 million in, the wages will never get there, will crush them. They're selling out below 35s, and they're selling out minority working class people in this country. You know why? They think they're just like you. They're just trash. So we have a great work ahead of us. Remember, after the Tea Party, 16 months later, Concord in Lexington. We have our Concord in Lexington on the 5th of November of 2024. I will guarantee you, like I guaranteed Trump when I first took the job in 16, to 100% metaphysical certitude, we will be victorious. Hold it. There's one caveat. This room, you, every one of you, your task and purpose has to be victory. That nothing will come between us and victory. Damn right. Amen, brother. Force multiplied, not just force multipliers. You are a historic force. This is why they're trying to destroy you. This is why you're now Christian nationalists. They're going to try to get you out of all your jobs. This is why they fear you. This is why they fear Trump. Because of you. Trump can't do it alone. His shoulders are big, but they're not that big. He's a strong man, but he's not that strong. He can't carry an entire republic, an entire movement, and turn this thing around. Only you can. Are you with him? I can't hear you. Are you with him? Trump, 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 Trump. Okay. You know your task and purpose. Can we be defeated? Can we be defeated? Can we be defeated?
All right, everybody. Okay, everybody. A couple announcements here. Number one, make sure you check your email and vote in the straw poll. Lots of important questions, both for President and Vice President. So make sure you check your email and do that. Number two, we have a very, very fun announcement of something we're going to be doing in the summer. We want to host the largest event of the summer that's open to you. Many of you say, Charlie, I want to go to the RNC convention. Well, it's very hard for many of you to get to that convention. So we're going to be hosting the People's Convention in June. Watch this video. Turning Point Action Conference, everybody. This event is going to be unlike any other. It's a conservative movement that is ready to fight and win.
You're either on the side of liberty, you're on the side of freedom, you're on the side of this republic, or you're on the other side, and there's no excuses.
The RNC is not going to be happy that the people will have a convention this summer, and we're going to be doing it in Detroit, Michigan, everybody. Anybody from Michigan? We got great people from Michigan. It's great. All right, in 20 minutes, we start our worship night, everybody. Be here, 20 minutes. We'll see you then. Thanks.
Say there's nothing in the